All right, guys, we got a bad day for a customer here. So this is a 2004 F-250 6-0power stroke. Been quite a bit with this truck. A few weeks ago, he was having some battery issues, and he had some really sketchy wiring going on. And I warned him. I said, this is going to burn down your truck. He put it on the things to do list, and it's been like this since 2008, so 14 years. But let me show you what happened. So, not looking too great. He actually had a fire while driving. It burned up the ABS wires to start with. He lost power on the truck. Tried to turn the key off and on to restart it. Didn't work, obviously. Yeah, so that's sketchy and scary it can be. But how did that happen? Well, I'm going to show you. And this is household wiring right here. And if you look, you can see right there where it made contact with the parking brake cable and worked its way through, and then the flame started working its way up towards the main harness. And yeah, that's what happened. Burned up the ABS wires in the process, caused a whole lot of damage. So to make it worse, he had taken it to the point where originally he had two wires providing power directly back to the pump for his hydraulic dump right here. One had broken off, so he only had one making contact to try to lift that dump bed. That's what happened. Eventually the insulation down there had gotten worn through. There were a couple other spots in the harness that were also sketchy, where it wasn't tied off, it didn't have loom on it. Guys, don't do this. This is a stupid reason to almost burn down your truck. The customer's a really great guy. I'm not talking bad about him, but I've seen so many sketchy jobs done with household wiring. It's not funny. Especially old timers, farmers, they'll use what they got. So you say, what's the big deal? It's just a little fire. Well, this truck, whenever it shut off, everything died. He tried to turn the key back on, nothing. When it came to a stop, fortunately somebody in the parking lot here, before he went down a huge mountain where you go from about 4,000 feet in elevation to about 1,500 feet in elevation, through a windy, curvy road. God was with him, and he got pulled over before he went down. Fortunately, somebody had a fire extinguisher and helped put all this out. The problem is now, I have pulled every relay out of this truck, every fuse, found 2 blown fuses, and they were only for the 7-pin for the trailer. All the other fuses were good. When you try to start this truck, if you hook up the batteries, the starter just starts going crazy. Just the Bendix on it's coming in and out, click, 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 click. That's all it's doing. If you try to turn the key, nothing. You have no gauges, you have no radio. If you turn the lights on, there are no lights. The only power that seems to be working on the truck are the freaking brake lights. Not a good sign. We're gonna load test the batteries, but I've already can tell they're good. I mean, they're pretty much brand new, and I don't think that would cause the starter to freak out. Plus, the brake lights are really bright when they come on. We'll load test them just to make sure, but just check them on the multimeter. They're over 12 volts. We should at least have something. The gauge cluster, nothing works on this truck right now. And I have literally pulled every single fuse out of it individually to check. Switched relays around, everything. Something is majorly jacked up on this truck. We've cut out the bad wiring, we've separated it. Fortunately, the only 2 wires that were really badly damaged were those 2 ABS wires coming to the front driver's side wheel sensor. But something is fried in a bad way. Don't do it, guys, because I'm telling you right now, the damage done to this truck, it may be minor, because the truck has rust. It's one of his primary work trucks. It's a little beat up because it's a work truck. Insurance probably isn't going to be too kind for him. It may be totaled, because I have a feeling by the time we put a harness in this thing, and probably the FICM's probably scrapped on it too, It's right there. They're sensitive to heat. They're sensitive to big power loads, voltage spikes. This bill could get very expensive very fast. So insurance isn't always kind to us. It's not a bad truck. Don't do it. It's not worth your safety, other people's safety, and losing a vehicle over. Household wiring has no place on a vehicle at all. It's not designed for it. Don't do it. Please don't do it. There's plenty of good brands out there. Don't get wires from Amazon or junk like that. Get good marine grade rated wires. Yes, you can get that off Amazon too, so I shouldn't say don't go to Amazon. Just make sure you're not getting the cheapest thing on Marketplace or cheapest thing on Amazon, because it's not going to serve you very well. Make sure you get good weather sealed stuff that has a good reputation and is going to last, because the last thing you want is for something like this to happen inside the vehicle. I've been a first responder too many times. I've seen too many vehicles burn to the ground. Yeah, let me tell you, being involved in a vehicle fire, being a first responder to a vehicle fire, it is crazy how fast something like this can be fully engulfed. 5 minutes, it's gone. If you have a fire that's inside or has a fuel source, I'm not talking gasoline or diesel, I mean the rubber, the plastic, anything that can burn, once it gets going, maybe 5 minutes tops. Past that, that vehicle is gone. And that's if you're lucky, and depending on where it starts. This one was actually about 6 to 8 inches from the fuel lines. So if they hadn't got it out and that guy wasn't standing here with a fire extinguisher, this truck would have been burned to the ground by now. Probably 20 feet from a produce stand. Something to think about, guys. Anyway, this didn't knock the owner. I love the owner. He's a great guy. He's an older guy, old timer. Hey, they do what they do. But this is meant to be informational to help the next guy, to keep you from having this problem. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please be safe. Be nice to your friends. As always, all the